Number 6 is the first Omen, number 4 in the States.
Okay, so this is a prequel to the Omen series. Follows on from, predates. So Omen, which is creepy fun, 1970s. Damien Omen 2, as I said before, I went to school with Damien Omen 2. Final Conflict, Sam Neill. Omen 4, The Awakening. Holy fetus paparicious, Batman. And that is probably the dumbest of all of them. And then more recently, the entirely unnecessary John Moore remake from 2006, which followed its predecessor so closely that David Seltzer still got sole script credit. And if you ever get a chance, look at the making of featurette on the DVD, in which John Moore just Fs and blinds his way through the cash-strapped production about how everything is terrible and everything's falling apart. He says that he describes one of the props as the work of a special school for deranged criminals. And when he learns that the film has had the biggest ever Tuesday opening, he says that's like coming fourth in a one-legged egg and spoon race.
Wow. Okay.
So it's no surprise really to say that this, which is directed by Kasia Stevenson, making a feature debut, is better than that. It's a step in the right direction. 1971, Nelto Free is American novitiate nun who goes to Rome, where she's placed in an orphanage where it becomes clear that they are trying to birth the Antichrist, which they've been doing in all these films. Film includes a lot of nods to the original.
Why would they want to birth the Antichrist?
You know why? Because in the 1970s, the world is becoming very secular, okay?
Right.
And people aren't believing in things. So, maybe birthing an Antichrist, maybe that'll be good for, and particularly in the world that we're in now, in which worshipping the devil in the name of God is a very big thing, not so far-fetched. So in the original film, Patrick Troughton gets skewered by the pointy thing that comes off the church. This one starts off with a pole coming down and hitting the priest on the head. In the original one, the nanny throws herself out the window. In this one, a nun throws herself out the window, but on fire. So, it's got it all summed up. So on the plus side, central performance is kind of fun. And Bill Nighy and Charles Dance managed to keep admirably straight faces while all this is going on. I mean, Bill Nighy, you just keep expecting Bill Nighy to go, well, it's what we do. It's kind of our job. Do you remember that? We don't trust people.
And who does he play?
He's a priest.
Oh, of course he is.
Yeah,
an Italian priest.
There's a priestly Bill Nighy and a priestly Charles Dance. More importantly, the director clearly can direct and knows how to manage an eerie set piece. The period setting works well, and it's put together solidly. It also, as I said, taps into that thing which is very of the moment about church folk being sort of, kind of pro-devil stuff because, hey, there's all these mad people in America at the moment trying to bring about Armageddon, because the Bible says they have to do, just insane stuff. So.
Shall we have a clip?
All right, let's have a clip.
I can do this. Tell me, have you ever been to a bar? No. A disco? No. Anything at all? Because your whole life you wanted to give yourself only to him, right? Look, I know it's scary coming out from under the habit, but look at you. You're a very beautiful girl, Margarita. And you have to understand that about yourself, if only to know what it means to give it up.
Yeah, so she's being invited as a nun to have a night off and go to a disco. How do you think that's going to end?
Well, that's a kind of a sleazy, sexy scene. It goes in a sleazy,
that's the way
sexy
it's going
way.
to go.
Yeah.
So look, all those things are kind of plus points. It's nothing like as bad as it could have been. On the downside, firstly, we don't need an Omen prequel, particularly when Immaculate did the Rosary's Baby thing much better. And Immaculate is a better film that doesn't have to tie itself up to an existing franchise, but it's the same story. If we are going to have an Omen franchise, and I'm sorry if this is just me, can we make the details of the prequel match up with the details of the original? I hate to say this, but in the original, Damien was not born of a nun, he was born of a jackal. They actually find the jackal in a grave in Megiddo, which is where Armageddon comes from. And if you're going to do this stuff, just at least do the homework. The score dances around the original score, which of course was Oscar nominated and Oscar winning and won it twice. And it is probably the best Omen movie since the first, but to quote John Moore, that is a bit like saying being second in a one-legged egg and spoon race. However, if you take into account that we don't need another Omen movie, and Immaculate already did all of this better and without the need for a franchise, it's kind of okay, and it's well directed. but it is rubbish.
G.A. Doyle says, Dear Doctors, as a colonial commoner of the New Zealand parish, I was lucky enough to attend an advanced screening of the first Omen last Wednesday evening at the beautifully restored Roxy Cinema in Wellington, a splendid place to enjoy a movie. And what could be better than some nun-based terror to while away the evening? Alas, I went in with low expectations, and when the obligatory quiet, quiet nun jump scares and a Charles Dance cameo as a guilt-ridden priest occurred, my fears began to be realised.
He does do guilt-ridden priest well, though.
Once the truly ridiculous central premise was revealed, I lost faith entirely. There are some well-executed body horror set pieces and great central performances from Nell Tiger-Free.
Yep.
The best moment of the night, however, was the car crash which induced the audience into fits of laughter rather than terror. Proper tosh, absolutely, but enjoyable nonetheless.
Yeah, there we go. I think we're pretty much on the same page.